are worth the hype or if they're worth their price. Oh my boy. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, she good. Okay. She fine. What is going on, guys? It is your girl T.O. back at it again with another video. Today I decided that, listen, I've been hearing so much about primer this, primer that, primer this, primer that, and unless you live under a rock, you have heard of the Tatcha, what's she called? The Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, and up until recently, you've also been hearing about the Farsali Skin Tune Blur Primer. Now, these primers, they are expensive, and there is a lot of hype around them. With the Farsali, you cannot go on Instagram and find one of those little makeup videos without seeing somebody using it. And then with the Tatcha, everybody is saying that they love it. It's changed their makeup game. It's so dynamic. It's incredible. And today, I decided that I want to genuinely see if either of these primers are worth their price tag. So we are going to be doing a primer face off. I am going to be splitting my face and we are going to be seeing whether either of these primers actually do anything for my skin, and if so, which primer is best, which primer looks the best after a 9-hour day. It's just super important that these are like some of the most hyped products on the internet right now. So I was like, you know what? We gotta do it. We've got to figure it out. We need to see which one is the best. Well, I'm a combo elite girl, so sometimes foundations, I can be left looking like an oil slick, or if it's around my mouth and around my cheek kind of area, it can cling to a lot of dry patches. So what I'm going to be doing is my left side is going to be the Tatcha, and then my right side is going to be the Farsali. Now, both of these claim to do different things. What this does is that it creates a silk canvas on the skin that protects your skin from, from your makeup actually going into it. So it's kind of like it has its skincare benefits apparently. And then this one right here is a blurring primer. It's basically going to blur the look of any pores, imperfections, texture on the skin to allow your makeup to glide over as seamlessly as possible. So as little talking as possible, I'm going to go ahead and apply these primers. The Tatcha, like we said, is going to be on the left, and the Tatcha looks like this, and it comes with this little this little round disc. And it even kind of tells you where to stop. Because I'm only doing half of my face, I'm doing half. Now, this side does not feel tacky at all. It just feels super smooth. This side feels a little tacky, and as you can see, the main difference is honestly like the skin color, like my color on each side. Here we've got a bit of a white cast, and here we don't. So do with that what you may. So I figured that the best way to test these two products out is to just do my regular foundation routine and just go through the motions as I normally would. So that is what I'm going to do. And I will be coming back to you guys and we will see if each side or either side looks any different, what I'm thinking so far, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, so we have just finished putting all the makeup stuff on. Okay, I mean, it all actually looks pretty good. And here's the funniest thing. What I will say is I was a lot less inclined to say good things about the Tatcha just because it is so expensive. And I honestly walked into Sephora so many times and I looked at it and I was like, you're honestly just pretty. I doubt you do anything for the skin, but I'm kind of looking in the viewfinder and in the mirror and everything, and I'm kind of liking this side of my face a little better. I don't know why that is. It just feels like because this is the side of my face that has the most texture, I feel like it looks the smoothest. Even though this side of my face has a lot less texture, it doesn't feel as smooth as this side. With that being with that being said, actually, both sides actually look really good, especially considering I didn't use my tried and true Tarte Poreless Primer. This actually looks really, really nice. Like, I am a fan of whatever is happening here. Please don't watch the face to chest color. It's winter, we're lightening up, it's getting crazy. Just leave it alone. I know that neither of them claim to control oils, but I did not use a mattifying primer today. So we're gonna see how they blot. That is what I wanna see, because I have had some primers where if I don't use that particular primer, like, let me give you an example. Okay. So for a while, I was really obsessed with the Sephora Beauty Amplifier. This is the mattifying H2O gel primer. I loved this primer, but I would find that whenever I would blot, for some reason, my foundation would come off on my blotting tissues. But then if I used my PTR Skin to Die For or my Tarte Poreless Primer, that wouldn't happen. So that was always weird for me. And oh, even with the Makeup Forever HD, the smoothing and the mattifying primer, no matter what, my makeup would start to break up on my nose like midday. So I think I also want to see how these primers kind of deal with oil, how oil kind of breaks through. Do they break them up? Does it break up the makeup? Is it going to, you know, be removed with my foundation? What's going to happen there? I'm interested to see that, and I think I'm also interested to see how it deals with my smile lines. I have smile lines. Honestly, it adds character. It means I'm happy. It means I'm positive. So I didn't do any extra steps or anything. I didn't like set my mouth creases. I didn't do any of that. I want to see how these primers might work with my smile lines, and I want to see also how maneuvering the foundation around my smile lines, if they do come, how that's going to end up looking. Like I said, with the Makeup Forever, my foundation would just disappear, but there's a reason I don't use it anymore. But honestly, I like what is happening on my face. Everything looks really pretty flawless. Yeah. Oh, actually, now that I'm looking at it, do I like, I don't know which side I like more, but they both actually look really good. All right, hey guys, what is going on? I'm tired. Let me be real with y'all. I am tired. It is about 11:30 at night right now. I told you guys I was gonna come back at 8 o'clock, but then I was like, I'm not about to take off my makeup. Let's see what happens. And you know, of course, I kind of got sidetracked, sidelined, stuff like that. In terms of the face, my nose is probably the most oily thing on my face. Like, it just is what it is. I don't tend to expect most products to, you know, stop my nose from looking like a greasy mess. But honestly, it wasn't as greasy as I would have expected it to be. So I'm pretty happy about that. In terms of which side I personally like the most, if you ignore this right here, which normally happens whenever I'm really tired, regardless, I've asked my sister and I asked my mom, hey guys, like, what side do you like the best, without telling them what side was what, and they each said that both sides of my face look pretty good, but it looks like the clear winner is this side. And what they said was that I've never noticed it, but apparently sometimes naturally a little bit of your makeup will wear off throughout the day, but as I noticed going on in the day, here, this side of my face started out like, you know, highlighted and normal, and you know, you could see my highlighter, you could see my bronzer, everything was super cool. But now you can't really see my bronzer or anything on this side. But if I turn here, you can still see everything, still crisp, still there. And I also find that my smile lines on this side are a little worse for wear than my smile lines on this side. I don't know if that has more to do with, you know, the product just being sucky or so. I'm not sure why that is, but honestly speaking, the Tatcha, as cool as everybody on YouTube has made it sound or look, I don't see the hype. Like, there, I said it. I just don't get what everybody is talking about when they talk about how incredible this primer is. If anything, the side with the Farsali looks a lot better. Like, a lot better. Like, around here especially, it's just starting to kind of look really greasy. You can start to see my pores. This side, it's actually still filled in pretty well. I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see if I can bust a quick zoom thing. So yeah, both of those sides don't, you can kind of see a little bit of difference. Thankfully, I mean, the foundation that I used, those are like probably my two favorite foundations right now as it stands. So I wouldn't expect them to look any less good than they normally would. But I don't see the hype with the Tatcha side. It doesn't look as flawless or as like incredible as everybody says. A lot of people do say, of course, that the Tatcha primer is a protective primer. It is supposed to create kind of like a shield between your skin and the makeup that you're putting on top of it. Even with that, I mean, it doesn't really create a shield because my smile lines did still peek through. And I mean, why is it called a primer then if it didn't really prime my skin, I guess? Like, initially speaking, when I first put it on, I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, the Tatcha side is gonna win. Yes, Tatcha. But as the day kind of went forward, I'm kind of more impressed with the Farsali side. I just feel like the Farsali side still looks there. It still looks together. It doesn't look, I guess, as bad as this side. I mean, I don't know if that's saying much. I'm just gonna try and blend out my smile lines again. Yeah, so like by this side, it looks fine, but then over here, you can still kind of see that line. So personally speaking, while I don't know if I would spend $67 again on this one, I definitely would not spend the $62 on the Tatcha. It's cool, but I do feel like it is incredibly overhyped. People said that it would do this and more for your face and for your makeup, and it really didn't do that for me. It's a cool concept. It's a cool product. I love the little disc thing that comes with it, but for $62, I want a primer that's actually gonna do stuff. Unpopular opinion. Don't hate me, but I would prefer a primer that does stuff, just like I would want to spend $55 on a foundation that actually provided some kind of coverage. I don't think that's too crazy. So yeah, I'm not too impressed with the Tatcha, especially with something like this, with an overhyped product. I think it's something that you should probably go into Sephora to get a sample on. Don't just listen to what everybody else is saying, because while I'm saying that I think it's trash and like I don't see the hype around it, you honestly might love it. Somebody else might love it, but I personally just cannot justify spending $62 on a primer that didn't really prime or smooth or like help with texture. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, Farsali kind of won this one for me, but of course, make your own judgments, come to your own conclusions. But in conclusion, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.